Hi everyone, this is Molly McCord and welcome to a new video where we're going to talk about the October 24th Taurus full moon. It is coming up here on October 24th and it will be exact at 12:45 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, so please adjust according to your location on the map. Now in these videos I walk you through the chart and we look at what is happening with the planets. What are they in conversation about? And at this Taurus new moon, we have a dynamic conversation around money, finances, and what you value, what has meaning to you right now. So let's start with the moon. Here's the moon at 1 degree of Taurus, 13 minutes, and it is conjunct Uranus at 0 degrees of Taurus, 31 minutes retrograde. This is earth shaking, literally. This is the moon coming up here and really saying, okay, you've got to let something go, because this Uranus energy is revolution. It's awakening. It is the awakener. It's why there's been so many people awakening on their spiritual path. And it's what is shaking up the planet, which is what Taurus is about, the Earth's resources, what we value, and that pertains to money. Taurus is about money. So this shakes up money, and it says, well, what do you want and where do you feel stable even amongst these changes? Where do you feel reliable, self-sufficient, and strong even when things are uncertain? So this full moon is asking you to check in with your feminine, because she is here and she is strong. The Taurus moon is a beautiful moon. It is stable and strong and clear and solid. And yet that is being shaken up by Uranus. So there's a sense here of something is meant to rise up to the surface, because Taurus can be stuck and stagnant and lazy. Sorry, Taurus. We all have Taurus within us. It's where we can get too comfortable. And so this connection of the moon and Uranus shakes things up and says, okay, well, you need to see something new, something fresh. And it pertains to self-worth, self-love, and how you are honoring yourself, and doing so in a way that reflects abundance. Because Taurus can be quite abundant. It's about what we buy, what we own, what we possess. And when we feel that we are not worthy of that experience of energy, because it's just an energy experience, well, then we get distracted. We get pulled away from our sense of self and the fact that we are unlimited abundance. And so this energy is actually giving you a checking in on your relationship with money. And how do you see money? And do you see it as a conduit of abundance, that you can make money and spend money, and that truly it's a reflection of how much you love yourself? That when you love yourself, when you're like, I am good at this, or I am worthy of happiness, I am worthy of what I want because I am here in human form. So it's an activator. This full moon activates parts of you that you're meant to emotionally connect with, because the moon is emotion. And you're meant to do so in a way where you can get some tangible results. That's also Taurus, the tangible results of what we place value on and where we find meaning. So you have this energy here, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So we look to find Venus, right? Well, look at this. How very interesting. Up here, we have the sun at 1 degree of Scorpio, which exactly opposes the moon, as it does for every full moon. And the sun is conjunct Venus, who is at 4 degrees of Scorpio, 15 minutes retrograde. So this is quite fascinating, because Venus, the feminine, is the ruler of this full moon, and her energy is conjunct the sun. The sun amplifies whatever planet it's in conjunction with. So this truly amplifies the energy of money, feminine, receiving, and your own messages of worthiness that you receive from other people. Now, the sun in Scorpio is passionate and driven, and it is motivated by what it can create. It is a creator, it creatrix, it is a transformer. It takes one thing and brings another thing together, merges it, and makes something new. It is truly about looking at what can I transform and create new. And with this mix of Venus here, it's looking at our feminine energies and how the feminine energies are ready to evolve and transform. And it's quite powerful, and money is strong because of how Taurus is a money sign and Scorpio is a money sign. So it just brings up money as one energy that displays your relationship to yourself and how you are loving yourself. But the strong emphasis on the Scorpio planets, Scorpio is actually what you've absorbed from other people. Scorpio is other people's values, other people's opinions, other people's stuff, other people's everything. And you can benefit from other people's resources in Scorpio, but you're also meant to take it and make it your own and assess that it's in alignment with your own values. So we have a value reassessment here where perhaps you were taught or told something about how much you could make or what you were worth, or oh, you only can make that much in this industry. But that's not true unless you continue to subscribe to that theory, to that belief system. And what we're really looking at right now is what we can make that feels powerful. Scorpio is about the power we feel within ourselves, and it can show up first as fears. So what are your fears around money? What are your fears around trusting yourself? What are those fears? And with Venus retrograde, she's digging through those fears, and she's going into her shadow, into her cave, into the parts of herself that maybe she didn't realize was there. And she didn't realize her relationship with money, or she didn't realize her relationship with herself. So there's this fascinating energy here between what you really own and want to believe for yourself based on you versus what you were taught or told or how you've behaved previously. And this is a shaking up of your sense of self in the world and your sense of power. Now, just before this full moon, the sun would have been at 0 degrees of Scorpio, exactly opposing Uranus at 0 degrees of Taurus. And that is something drastic or big changing. It could have been perhaps in the world markets, something being revealed, something coming out. It's a shaking energy here when the sun opposes it, and it can shake up our resources, where we place our values, where money goes, but it shakes up power systems, and it shakes up secrets. Now, there's currently 4 planets here in Scorpio. Sun, Venus retrograde, Mercury at 21 degrees of Scorpio, and Jupiter at 26 degrees of Scorpio. And these planets, all 4 of them, moving through Scorpio's realm, is asking you to dig in to what is running in your psyche, what needs to heal, what are the fears, where are you not tapping into your power, where are you perhaps engaged in dynamics that are taking you away from your power, and to rework all this, because it's the transformation energy that's quite big when there's 4 planets in Scorpio. And Mercury, as you can see, is at 21 degrees, moving up here to be conjunct Jupiter. And in fact, I would consider this a conjunction because Mercury moves faster and is within 5 degrees orb of Jupiter. So this means you're going to get some new information about what you've been working on. Those fears that you've been working on for a year now, whatever you've been slogging through, it's been emotionally intense or heavy. It's been something where you're like, when is this going to end? The darkness, the heartbreak, how I want to learn from this. I want to see the bigger picture, the deeper knowledge. That's going to be happening here just after this full moon, because you're meant to have a revelation that Mercury's going to bring you. Mercury brings in the new details, the new story. You are writing a new story for yourself with this full moon. You are writing a new story that's based on what you feel is your true sense of self-love, that I feel it is bigger than perhaps what you were ever told or taught. And it's understanding that it's just like, oh gosh, now I'm stumbling on the quote. The power has always been within you. Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz. The power has always been within you, my dear. And are you integrating that and feeling that and owning it? And this is giving you the wisdom to see what outside of yourself you need to be trusting. Scorpio is where we're meant to trust how we feel about people and situations, how we're meant to watch the energy, feel the energy. What's coming up here that maybe there's something underneath it, but I need to follow what I'm feeling around it. So there's a strong intuitive energy too with all these planets in Scorpio. You could feel that you're tapping into other realms, psychic abilities, mediumship, anything that takes you down into the energy. That's where you're going to find more understanding. And then something that is really supportive at this time is Saturn, 4 degrees at Capricorn, 22 minutes, and is direct, is making a supportive sextile to our girl Venus. She needs it right now. She needs some support, and is working with the sun, and is also then providing stability to Uranus and the moon in Taurus. The Saturn energy helps us think long term, be mature, say no now so you can say yes later, cut things out if it's too much. Don't go too far, don't do too much, rein it in. So it keeps us aware of what we can handle, to honor our responsibilities and our commitments, and it's quite grounding. So I love that this energy is providing a sense of, think about the long term right now. Where are you going? What are you building? What matters to you in the long term? And make your decisions and choices based on the long term, and allow yourself to feel strong in what has come up for you, these new realizations. Now, the other thing that's lovely here is that this conjunction of Jupiter and Mercury in Scorpio are supported with the energy of Pluto. Just before this full moon, Mercury made a sextile to Pluto at 18 degrees, which provided a deeper understanding of what was going on below the surface or within. It could have been some kind of breakthrough around, oh, this is what I didn't see before. And now Mercury is moving, as I said, to that conjunction with Jupiter, which gives you a sense of transformation has happened. This is what I've learned. This is what I've come to understand through the dark passages. If you felt like you've been walking through a dark tunnel, this is an energy that's meant to rise you back up. because Jupiter is just about done with its journey through Scorpio, and it's a really intense one because all the fears come up, the worries, like the bigger stuff that you could feel overwhelmed by. You transform it and you arrive at a new sense of power. Now, Jupiter is going to move into Sagittarius November 7th. And I have a separate podcast episode for you talking about those energies. And that energy is going to be really informative because it's going to help you see how to take all the Scorpio stuff and move it forward so that you don't feel like it's just hanging out there. When Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, you see the bigger picture. You have a new understanding. It's positive, enthusiastic, motivating, inspiring. I mean, Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius. So there's parts of this Scorpio energy that's going to be changing really soon. And as Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, November 7th, and it's going to be like, okay, yes, I got it. I've learned a lot. I'm changed. I am different now. I have been rebirthed. It's the Phoenix rising. And that's part of this journey through Scorpio, is that there's always gifts in the darkness. There's always gifts when you go within, because then that is where you discover more of the gold and more of what was unconscious and how to make it conscious within yourself and then bring that out into the world. So this full moon is really going to shake up what you have unknowingly held back within yourself, perhaps what you didn't see before. And the other thing that's interesting is how it does square the North Node, which is almost done in Leo. It's at 1 degree of Leo, 11 minutes, and is going to be entering into Cancer in November too. And so the North Node in Leo has been giving you courage and confidence in who you are, what you are about in this lifetime, where you are growing into yourself. And the square to the moon and Uranus, as well as the sun and Venus, it feels like you're not meant to compromise. You're not meant to compromise your gifts. And the square could feel like, oh, I should compromise my gifts to make more money, or, oh, maybe I should compromise my gifts because of other people. No, do not compromise. Stay strong in what you've learned as the North Node has moved through Leo. And when the North Node moves into Cancer, it really opens up more of the feminine and trusting and growth. Cancer is about blooming and really feeling safe. So it's going to be an energy change in November. But until then, this is giving you additional strength. It's a bit like your solar plexus chakra, your yellow solar plexus chakra is gaining strength here. It's really meant to be in alignment with the sun, the rays of the sun, the light and the warmth of the sun. And then the energy moves up to the heart chakra when the North Node goes into Cancer. So know that things are being lit up within you as you continue on this journey, and that grounding yourself is essential. The Taurus full moon is about a return to the earth, about even just feeling the dirt underneath your feet, feeling grounded, feeling grateful, and looking for what is simple. To just understand that the simple things bring us joy. And Scorpio will complicate things. It is a more complicated energy. So even if things feel overwhelming or big or complicated, come back to the simple pleasures, the simple things you can do right now to ground yourself and to be in connection with your energy field. And to know that what you're realizing is meant to last for the long term. It's meant to be something that is truly a new part of yourself and to allow yourself to change. That's what Scorpio also does. It allows you to transform. Allow yourself to be different. Don't get stuck. Don't get fixated on one version of self. You have to let go. Scorpio is about letting go and loss, but that loss means that something is transmuted into a different form. So you've been on a journey over the past year that has really transformed you. You faced something, you dealt with something, you saw something you didn't see before. This full moon is asking you to claim love for yourself across all lifetimes, all timelines, all dimensions of time. Love yourself for who you are, what you've been through, what you are, the simpleness of you too. And I mean that in the terms of like your body, your heart, your breath, just the simple things that we need to feel secure in our physical selves. And allow this full moon to be supportive of you and grounding as the big changes move through you and allow you to give birth to yourself in a powerful, solid way. So it's quite a dynamic full moon. Take time to be in that energy of transformation, to listen to your heartbeat, to see how supported you are, and to allow yourself to continue to rise up into the higher energy fields of unconditional love for yourself. I also share with you more astrology updates every week on Mondays and Wednesdays on my podcast. If you would like ongoing understanding of the energies, please join me there. I post them here on YouTube, also on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, and wherever you subscribe to podcasts. Thank you for joining me. I will be back here soon for the next new moon that will be coming up in Scorpio in November. Until then, many full moon blessings to you, and thank you so much for connecting. See you soon.